What's up, Spikelings? The stream's only source of entertainment, Esther here, welcoming you back to the Shark Typhoon. Today, we're changing things up with actual jokes and some real joy in the stream. So sit back, relax, and get ready to have fun for a change.
Yesterday, I spent a long time looking at Hardened Scales cards. We played Lost Jitte in a Dice Factory combo style shell. I guess there's like a lot has happened to bring me here today. So first off, last week, I think it was last week, it might have actually been Friday of the week before, we played Lost Jitte in the 8-key combo shell, although it wasn't this, it was this shell, it was this build. And it was pretty good. We lost playing for a trophy. Lost Jitte looked pretty impressive. Specifically, Lost Jitte was very awesome, making a ton of mana off of Urza's Tower and untapping Urza Saga to make a lot of constructs. Was like a really awesome tool in this deck. You know, not so much, equipping it onto creatures, but charging it up with Power Conduit, Surge Node, and Coretapper to make really good use of the untap land ability. And so that happened. So I liked Lost Jitte. I liked playing it in that deck, and I wanted to try to play it in a more creature-focused shell. So I was working on like Boros Stoneblade that's just playing like Flagstones and Lotus Field, and I had still working on that, having a kind of hard time visualizing like the game plan being super cohesive and not like fragile, weak, and slow, but still working on that, I guess. And then I was also working on green-white scales with Collector Cage. Still working on that too. But I wanted to play a Lost Jitte in that shell. And I was kind of thinking, well, what if we just played Lotus Field in scales? And then we played more Lost Jittes. And then we could use Collector's Cage to cast Turn Timber Symbiosis and maybe sometimes Amaria's Call. And then you could also just use Lost Jitte to untap your Lotus Field and do that thing. And I also had like this mono white shell. I went through like a lot of different shells of like Lost Jitte Lotus Field, including Hardened Scales yesterday. And then I'm like, well, seems like it's probably a lot better to play like the Tron lands instead of Lotus Field and like a mostly colorless deck. And I kind of circled back to this shell, which is kind of like a hybrid of the Dice Factory deck and Hardened Scales. I mean, this is actually an archetype we've played in the past. Look kind of different before. But like scaleless scales using the Tron lands instead is something we've tried before, to like varying degrees of success. I'm on board for the most Lotus Field decks. Yeah, we're gonna try to figure out the Lotus Field Jitte stuff, but we're just kind of here first. And so again, I wanted to highlight Lost Jitte, and so like Jitte was good in that shell. It is going to be like a lot better here, where you're actually like gonna be able to equip your equipment really often, and I think this shell here so far has helped Lost Jitte shine the most, where like what it does the best is just make a ton of mana with Urza's Tower, untap your Urza Saga as her value. It's more of like a grindy value card than like a one-turn combo card in the Dice Factory deck. Still good in the Dice Factory deck, but you're just gonna get to do the thing here more often. Also, I've found Fomori Vault to be very, very good in this shell. I don't know if I was just underrating it. I don't know if it's gonna go into more shells, but like you're pretty in on Urza Saga in this deck, and like a lot of times you're like Urza Sagaing multiple times because you're using Power Conduit to peel off that charge counter. And tutoring up from Fomori Vault in the late game has been so good, not only because it just like digs so deep for like big action spells, but also because you can just untap Fomori Vault with Lost Jitte and just like really churn through your deck. Has been very, very cool. Lost Jitte making a lot of Saga tokens also is like way more relevant in this shell than it is in than the Dice Factory deck too. And I've always kind of been charmed by Tron lands into big Walking Ballista and big Hangarback Walkers too. I feel like this is a pretty charming thing. The Fomori Vault has been like amazing. Flood Insurance, I've been liking this a lot. I'm not playing Fomori in this deck, despite meeting the companion requirements for it in the main deck. One big thing is we can't cast it. I'm playing Basic Mountains because we have a Zabaz off of Urza Saga. If we were playing, Forest instead, be a little bit more castable. And I'm also playing some non-artifact cards in the sideboard. This is kind of Nassif tech of playing Karn the Great Creator in the sideboard, but I think it makes a lot of sense where in the Scales mirror against Tron, against Titan, Karn is a card you really want to be in on, and you could make a bunch of mana with like Everflowing Chalice Jitte. Like it is pretty castable in the deck. You could also main deck Karn. Main decking Karn would be pretty reasonable, but at the moment I kind of think I just want it against Titantron and then like Affinity and Scales, but you don't really need to main deck it so much for like the Affinity Scales matchup, and then this is kind of your plan, and like this is your plan in the big mana matchups, which I feel like makes sense to me at the moment. We'll see if that philosophy changes. Emrakul mostly for mill. We can also bring in against control, so it's a little bit better in this shell. And then my general like plan here when you bring in Karn is it's like against Tron you're gonna go for basically just always coding, occasionally Stonebrain. Against Titan you're gonna go for Torpor Orb first usually, or Stonebrain. Sometimes coding first, but you're gonna get one of these three. You're gonna go like you're gonna get like some combination of these three cards against Titan, and then against Affinity and the Scales Mirror, you mostly just want to get Ensnaring Bridge. You maybe want to get Stone if you reach against Scales, although this is a card you're also bringing in against Yawgmoth and Scam as an Urza Saga target. But I think it's good to have the bridge so that you have like this plan against like the Affinity and Scales, and then this plan against the big mana stuff. Couple Pithing Needles for Coffers and Yawgmoth. I'm also playing the second Gemstone Caverns in the board for when we're on the draw. One main, one side here. And then I'm also playing a basic mountain in the side too. Like I really, really want the third mountain against decks with lots of Besagus and decks with lots of Field of Ruins. So mostly like Coffers, Black No Coffers. Like I really want the third one. And I had in the main deck, I'm like, I had this for a little bit. It's like three main, two side. I'm like, well, what if we just I feel like I want the first Caverns in the main, and we could just board in the third mountain in these kind of matchups. I think, especially because like a lot of times like your opponent will bring in extra Besagus against you. Why not just bring in an extra basic? Okay, let's get going. Pretty excited about this one. Yeah, I don't have a copy of the Ozolith here. I have. Again, have a really horrible. I think we're 0-4 in die rolls, right? 0-4 in die rolls in the day. I really don't want Brainstorm. Brainstorm could be in the set. It probably isn't. I will gift 100 subs to chat if Brainstorm is actually in Modern Horizons 3. And I can do this because I'll be so rich after playing Miracul's decks that I can afford the $100. Okay, put him with the one land keep. I'm gonna play the Cauldron here. Maybe start chomping on that graveyard. Also, remind me that I said this if Brainstorm actually gets spoiled. I can feel it. Yeah, it's like it would be pretty hype. You know, it would be not that bad a day for me if it was spoiled. So, a little treat for a chat. How many will you donate if the set will contain 0 mana proactive spells? Well, we already have at least one 0 mana proactive spell. Also, the blue flare is also kind of proactive, or can be kind of proactive. Maybe not by definition, but the fact that you can play it on your own turn is pretty interesting. What would be worse, Brainstorm or Crop Rotation? Crop Rotation would be the worst card. Brainstorm would be the more unreasonable card to print, I think. So I guess we're going to get Lost Jitte, and then... Lost Jitte, Urza's Mine, Coretapper, sack onto the Jitte. Why not tap the Soul Cauldron and save the construct? Oh, this is heat instead of bolt. Sorry. I thought this was a bolt for some reason, but yeah, I should have done that. Okay, up a game against what is maybe like Grixis Shadow. I'm gonna bring in a Relic. Any hype specifically to play with energy? I like the new recurring number. I'll say this. I think the Ugins card is pretty fucked up, but I'm pretty hyped overall. Overall hype. And like the Ugin's card is like the Ugin's Funhouse or whatever. The card's messed up, but we're a Break the Ice Obsidian Charm all format. Colorless lands can only be so good. Well, that one is really, really good. Try cutting the Surge Node. Don't know how much sense that makes. What will you crop rot into Modern? Bounce land, Lotus Field, Tron lands, the Eldrazi Temple, the new double mana. I don't know. You'd figure it out. Are they retracting the article? I think they're waiting until their like weekly MTG stream to talk about the stuff. Calibrated Blast for Ugin's Funhouse. Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, double mana land in that deck. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Does Lost Jitte have a spot on Hammer? Probably not. Like, I think we're gonna play the boots, and I think you want to play Cryptic Coke. It's just site difficulty. Okay, cool. Or maybe they just don't want to give in to my blackmail. I believe Cannoneer is going to be legal in Modern, but I am not 100% sure. Is Orange Chant good? I don't think so. I can't imagine it being particularly competitive, to be honest. I'm trying to imagine. Can't do it. Yeah, let's go Saga, Chalice and Zero, Coretapper, sack a Coretapper. To play a Hangarback. Yeah, Orange Chin it's a slightly better silence. It's nice that you can fog every turn with Isochron Scepter. The thing is, artifacts are just like these kind of like these plans. They're just built around your like 2-mana artifacts. They're just so easy to disrupt. Like there's like Besagers and Pick Your Poisons and Leyline Bindings and Haywire Mites off Urza Sagas. It's just not can't be a good plan. Oh, they Pick Your Poison. They're gonna chant it every upkeep. All right, maybe not that one. Pick Your Poison Sorcery. Yeah, but are you gonna play? You're gonna wait until you have 4 mana to play your Scepter. Okay, so we're gonna lose our Saga here. If that's the case, then sure. If you wait till 4 mana for your Scepter, sure. Wait, my opponent's playing Prowess and they couldn't cast any spells last game? That's crazy. I was hoping I could go Ballista on 2 and pop Relic next turn. Looks like that's not going to be possible. Opponent seems that they feel confident that they can get Delirium online in combat here. I'm like pretty okay if them doing that involves Flashback Lava Dart, cast Mutagenic Growth, so I'm gonna block. Pretty okay with this too. So I can go Lost Jitte, equip, attack. I can go. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that and then maybe also play Zabaz. But getting some counters on the Jitte seems nice with this Ballista in my hand. And if my opponent uses a removal spell here, I am happy enough with that outcome. Okay, so let's go Zabaz, and then it seems like I don't care enough about holding up Relic activation up, or I'd rather equip than hold up Relic pop. At the end of the day, I think I'm just very happy that MH3 is just full of juicers, you know. Full of juicers. A lot of scary cards, but oh man, it's gonna be a fun couple months, and then we'll see. It is gonna be a very, very fun time. Yeah, format rotated. Does anybody else feel like Modern is a rotating format now? I don't know, y'all. We'll see. Overall, I think they're doing a pretty good job with what I've seen. But are you gonna play Tron now, Spike? Not sure if I ever play Tron on stream. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe with the new cards, we'll register a Tron build. Alright, so let's go Ballista, equip Lost Jitte to Ballista, and if my opponent kills it, I can just ping the Channeler and then pop Relic. Get like a nice little 2-for-1 there. Lots of Flare Denial, Merfolk. I like it a lot. I like the idea of it a lot. Like, the card is also just super hard castable. It's like just like the fact that it's just canceled in addition to being a 0-mana counterspell that can be played on your or your opponent's turn. I think the card is very good. Seems like one of the more clear places you could play it. Okay, I don't know what I'm sacking here. Never the Chalice. Could pop the Relic, ping the Channeler, then sack the Jitte. Let me just sack the Relic and see what we draw off of it, and then trying to figure out what we're doing. Okay, I said never, but maybe drawing extra Tron piece, just sacking the Chalice is fine. So because this is just like such a nightmare if it gets going, and we're just pretty likely to get a nice 2-for-1 like this. Are they holding priority? They are holding priority, and they're bolting again. I respond. I ping you, Channeler. Okay, they got no cards in their hand. Got 2 out of 3 Tron pieces. Your turn. Has drawn a Soulscar Mage, which will not do enough here, I think. Definitely gonna go map for Tron land, because then we can start using the mana on our Ballista activations. Okay, so counter on Lost Jitte, which we'll use to put a counter on the Ravager, and then we'll Cauldron the Ballista, and then we will kill the Soulscar Mage. Well, we know it'll only take 2 counters to do so. Probably dead if they attack, right? We have 2, 3, 4... maybe not quite. Oh, this is +2 damage, because I go counters on the Jitte, 3/3, 4/4, 5/5. I think I can put them to 1. I think I can put them to 1. Oh, but then I just sacked the Lost Jitte. Okay, there's found lethal. So counter on the Jitte, counter on the Ravager, sack the Jitte, 7/7 Ravager Ballista. You know, Jitte being 1-mana equipment and 1 mana to equip is really, really nice. Like the card is, you know, obviously we built around it, but really nice in this deck. Pretty funny how the blue fares. We have a Jitte into Coretapper. Should probably be a keep. With Ugin's Love Spoiled, I wonder if they're actually printing Wasteland. Well, it's still a Break the Ice Obsidian Charmall format. we have like Sunken Citadel Fields. We have this new anti-land hate card. There's definitely like a lot of safety valves against it. I really wish the only one basic land untapped card was better against Amulet Titan. Yeah, Winter Moon. Like Winter Moon just doesn't seem very good against Amulet Titan, which is kind of an awkward place for your non-basic land hate to be. That's what it is. Could be cool to play Winter Moon in a deck with like 4 Sunken Citadel and like a bunch of fields and then a bunch of basics, and then like you just untap your Sunken Citadel every turn and then you use your fields and turn them into basics. Wait, no, that's bad. That's bad because then you're giving your opponent a bunch of basics and then that never mind. That's the dialogue tree. Okay, opponent, casual, minute to show up, then pause and upkeep. Everything very normal here. Very normal here. Is Nether Glyph the black 1-drop I've been looking for? I think so. I definitely have been feeling like Modern needs a good black 1-drop for a long time. My opponent suspends a Lotus Bloom and then does not play a land on turn 1. More normal stuff. Actually feel like I should just play Ballista now. This is so weird, but I think I just want to get like Lost Jitte equipped onto this. Okay, they find a land. They thought sees me. D&D Junkie, good username. Thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate you. Wasteland just leads to terrible games. Took this right now. But yeah, I agree. I agree that Wasteland would be a negative printing into Modern. I think people just have a hard time like visualizing like just like designing a new and better card that's more fun because they have only ever experienced these cards. But we have Break the Ice, we have Sunken Citadel Field, we have Alpine Moon, we have Blood Moon, we have this new Winter Moon. Does not feel like Wasteland would be a good print. They take the Zabaz, which is interesting. Land would be a good top deck, I think. Draw Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I think what I'm going to do is just use the mana to get the Jitte equipped onto the Ballista, hit my opponent, use that charge counter to play the Coretapper, which can result in 3 more charge counters on the Ballista for next turn, which can turn it into a 4/4, hit them 5/5, Cauldron 6/6. Getting close, and then this isn't coming down next turn at least. But Dust Bolt would probably be pretty fine. Wasteland with the 1-mana activation cost. Like Field of Ruin and Demolition Field, I think are for me the sweet spot for what a Wasteland strip mine should be. I think the effect is like so perfectly balanced. They printed it twice. Thank you, Athena asking to come in 1 second. Okay, Preordain into Seachrome Coast. Passing back. Counter, sack 2 counters, 4/4 Ballista, Cauldron 5/5 Ballista. Hit my opponent, 6/6 Ballista. See if we're dead next turn. I don't think there's much else to do besides this. Think you could be more aggressive on Field of Ruin activation cost, make it 1 mana, maybe even 0. Yeah, maybe. You have like when we kind of get that feeling when we play Sunken Citadel plus Field of Ruin, and it feels really, really nice. Okay, so they're gonna upkeep Angel's Grace. And then they need to have Spoils of the Vault and Thassa's Oracle. To cook me. Spoils Thassa's English is 4 mana. They got 4 mana. They will have 4 mana. Have them dead next turn. So they need Spoils of the Vault and Thassa's Oracle in their hand to win the game. They kept a no-lander, so I would kind of assume they have it, but we'll see. They also kept Preordained Thoughtseize, maybe. 5. I guess we don't have lethal next turn. We do if we draw a land. We can't actually translate these power conduits into anything. Okay, there's Spoils of the Vault. Maybe they're thinking about what cool card they could name here to kill me. What about Safekeeper and Yawgmoth? Yawgmoth has protection from humans, it seems, which maybe means that this is not a great plan. Okay, so they decide to do their combo on this turn. That makes sense. Honestly, Sylvan Safekeeper is like it's so sick that Yawgmoth has pro humans with Safekeeper. But you can also just play Spellskite and Yawgmoth, like nobody plays that, you know. It's like you just want to be that different. Okay, so let's bring in these Karns. I could bring in Torpor Orb also. It's kind of funny I have that today. I could be like I could board in Torpor Orb and then I could just Karn for Stonebrain. I think let's board in Stonebrain instead of bringing in Torpor Orb, because if I'm going to go Karn for something, I want it to be the cheaper thing, if that makes sense. If I killed the Oracle, it doesn't matter. They had no cards left in their library. Would not have done anything. I think this makes sense, at least. And then we want to be kind of in on like the bigger mana stuff. Let's maybe cut the Hangarback Walkers. Ravager. Could the new Ugin land help Calibrated Blast? Yeah, yeah. Again, like the thing about the new Ugin land is it's like it just doesn't have a downside. So it's like if you're going to like you could just kind of free roll it in that deck, and if you have this card plus Ugin plus your stuff, you have this nut draw. And if you don't have that, it's also just okay because yeah, hold on a second, sorry. I should be able to go turn 1 Urza Saga and still Stonebrain and activate on turn 4 or turn 3. Yeah, but you could just, you know, because if you don't imprint Emrakul to this card, then you just still have a land that enters on taps for colorless. So we go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Lost Jitte, turn 3 peel the counter off Saga, counter on Lost Jitte, Stonebrain activate. I think you have 8. I guess you have 8 things to imprint there. You could have more if you play Draco, right? Or is Draco not legal? I can never remember if Draco's legal. How many lands in your hand this time, opponent? There's a Lotus Bloom at least. So we're gonna wait on activating the Power Conduit until next turn, so we can start, you know, getting stuff off Urza Saga every turn, of course. I should have double checked. I'm pretty sure I didn't see a Jace or like a backup win condition. Yeah, I'm just gonna name Thassa's Oracle, I think, because they have redundancy to Angel's Grace with Phyrexian on life. They have redundancy potentially to Spoils of the Vault with Ad Nauseam. Yeah, they have it Ad Nauseam. Of course, these cards are much more expensive. They suspended Profane Tutor. I'm just gonna name Oracle, and you know, if they get me, they get me. So let's grab Expedition Map. Play a Power Plant. Tap it for mana. Untap it. Cast a Stonebrain. Name You Are Already Dead. Okay, any other win cons? Does not look like it at first glance. I think we're getting some concession lag. Yeah, okay. Cool. So we're gonna bring in these caverns on the draw. And we're gonna, you know, still mulligan pretty aggressively into a hand that can play a fast Karn, or can just luckily have the Stonebrain again. Yeah, Power Conduit plus Saga is pretty fun interaction. So this hand can have Tron on turn 3, but with no Karn, we just have to mulligan on the draw against this combo deck, I think. Can you go to 5? Keep. So I'm gonna put back 1, 2, and then let's go ahead and imprint or use the Gemstone Caverns so that we can try to cast a Karn on turn 3, which is pretty important against Lotus Blooms. So kind of a multi-4. Is Death Shadow no longer a premium black 1-drop? I would say no, it's not. But also, you know, when we're talking about Death Shadow, draw land and turn 2 Karn. When we're talking about Death Shadow, one huge glaring issue with the card as a 1-drop is that you cannot cast it on turn 1. And the fact that you can cast the new Goyf on turn 1 is a huge, huge deal. Is Eldrazi Stompy viable with new colorless lands? I don't know. Maybe. That'll be $5 a month for the rest of your life. Do you have a null in your hand, opponent? You have Ceremonious Rejection? Surely if they have a null, they're annulling this, right? Yeah, the new card also has Escape. Okay. It's kind of unhinged to not spell Pierce the Chalice, but I'm happy they didn't. So they suspend Profane Tutor here. Love to draw a land. Not drawing a land. Is Saga token better than casting Ballista? I think so, yeah. Thoughts on WotC retroframing almost everything? I really like it. Retro borders are sick. I wish that they would do more. Like, I would love Old Border Dragon Rage's Channeler, Old Border Unholy Heat. Yeah, big fan. Alright, with Profane Tutor coming down, this is pretty scary. Yeah, we've also mulliganed pretty low. Gotta grab Lost Jitte. Can play Karn next turn. Probably gonna lose. Yeah, Border Ring would be cool. Yeah, I wish they would do more. I wish they would do more. So if they have Oracle or Spoils in their hand already before the Profane Tutor, we're gonna lose. Wasn't Drum Karn this turn? There's no Drum in the deck. Not that Karn even really does enough. Like, they're just not using artifact mana here. Alright, well. Probably dead. Or DC is Eternal Weekend thing. Oh right, this one. I feel like the problem here is Darcy's Barber should probably be fired. He would just, I don't know, triple Urza Saga and a Fomori Vault. Not a very good hand. I think I'm going to keep it over a 5. My pumped to play Oopsie All Spells with Chthonian Nightmare. Oh. That card's good in Oops All Spells? Okay, we have paid the mill tax today. We have an Emrakul in the sideboard. Yeah, why is that card good in Oops All Spells? Doesn't even return Balustrade Spy by itself. I assume you mean you'll get back Thassa's Oracle or something, but Oops Spells is good because you just a 1-card combo. Want to add another card to the combo, it's twice the cards. Is Torpor unplayable now? Yes, now Tarmogoyf is unplayable. No, Goyf is fringe playable still. You can still play Goyf, and this new Goyf is black instead of green. You know, sometimes Tarmogoyf shows up in Teamer decks, and can't play black cards in Teamer decks, and the two cards could play well together. I wouldn't just say that the card is completely down and out. So they have Surgical. Okay, and they have Surgical by Patchworks. Throw back to the Gen Shadow decks with 8 Goys for Bubbles for Tourists. Yeah, maybe. Can they ever ban Bobble? I remember when Luris was legal, I kind of felt like it might have been better for them to ban Bobble instead of Luris, because like Bobble will just continue to get better and better and enable everything, and that has definitely been the case. So I don't know. In summary, I don't know. So I can get a Zabaz off the Saga and then immediately sack it as if it were a Coretapper to put 2 counters on my Everflowing Chalice. And then also modular the counter onto Walking Ballista. So hopefully they don't mill my Zabaz, because that would be a cool thing to do. Yes, I think we might as well just float here. We'll make this Saga token off this Saga. I think we're only ever making one right at this turn. So play Zabaz. Sacrifice the Zabaz as if it were a Coretapper. And then modular onto the Ballista. This has 3 charge counters now. So for us to go Ravager, Hangarback, Construct. I got 38 cards in my library, so I don't feel like I need to try to get too aggressive here. Okay, so we'll go 2 more charge counters on the Everflowing Chalice, modular over here. This is pretty fine. And I'll attempt to Cauldron the Ravager. In response, my opponent drowns the Ballista. So let's go tap, put a charge counter on the Everflowing Chalice. Ping the crab. Ping the crab. Ping them. And, you know, let's just have 2 more mana on this Chalice as a treat. Then counter on the Hangarback Walker. / Ravager / Coretapper. Make a Saga token. Cool turn. Could Flare to now make fairies a possibility? I'd say it's a possibility, but you would need another good fairy probably, and you would need a reason to play fairies over Merfolk, and I don't know what that reason could be, but these are the 2 hurdles for you to jump through as a fairies gamer. Okay. So they didn't field my Urza Saga yet. I guess they still could. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to make a token because I just kind of want to activate my Fomori Vault. So we gotta wait till we draw to do that. They have an Archive Trap? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so we get to look at our top 4 cards and put one of them into our hand. We can choose Ravager, Surge Node, Lost Jitte. The Lost Jitte is kind of interesting. Let's have some fun with the Lost Jitte, because what we can do here is I can go cast Lost, cast Lost Jitte, just see if it resolves. Maybe some of y'all can see what I'm plotting with this. It's gonna be like a little convoluted, and let's just start taking some game actions. No, I was gonna go tap the Hangarback Walker, sack the Hangarback Walker, three counters, and then I was gonna try to use sack this to put charge counters on the Lost Jitte, use Lost Jitte to put counters on the Thopter tokens, and sack them to put more charge counters on the Jitte, and then Cauldron Ballista. But I guess we can probably still win this turn. Not sure. Okay, so put a counter. Yeah, should be easy lethal. Yeah, Fomori Vault has definitely been overperforming in this deck. It feels really nice spot for it. Hard to imagine if there's gonna be 2 more spots. Definitely performing better than I had expected, which is good news. So I want the extra basic. I also want the Emrakul. Duh. I can beat Ensnaring Bridge. That doesn't really seem like I really want to bring in Karn. Don't really want to bring in Relic because I don't want to exile my own graveyard. Yeah, let's go. 63. What's a good Stoneforge package? I like the Esper Satoro Stoneblade deck I've been playing. We trophied with it on Friday. The blue counterspell will be funny in Dredge. Yeah, that seems like a kind of busted thing to do with the card. Second Archimedes and prized amalgams. I like the thought of that a lot. Like, I'm having a hard time with Flare of Denial, because the card to me is just, I'm disappointed that it's kind of boring seemingly. Like, the card is like, I was hoping that the blue Flare would just not be a card that interacts on the stack. I was hoping it would be I was hoping it would do something kind of cool and unique, because the other two free spells for blue have just interacted on the stack. It just doesn't feel like Modern is that interested in another 0 mana blue counterspell. So, but it is different enough that, you know, we'll just kind of see how it ends up playing, I guess. Oh, so people stop my Emrakul, but they also have kept a 1-lander. A lot of opponents doing that today, I guess. Talking about the fact that Ugin's Labyrinth is way worse for Modern than as a second temple, since now you can turn one Chalice of the Void in Modern. Yeah, but there's been a lot of talk about that. That the card, that card is the only card to really make me say, like, what the fuck? You know, I'm like scared. I'm scared of the green Flare. The blue Flare is also like, that card is maybe really fucked too. But this one is like, this one is the scariest for me at the moment. Okay. So we have 4 mana this turn. Probably get Everflowing Chalice. Then play Fomori Vault. Cast Coretapper. Get Archive Trapped in response. I guess I'm just going to cast Cauldron. See, if they have Surgical, they probably Surgical Response or Lantern in response. And if they Lantern in response, it's pretty good for me, because I'm gonna save the Coretapper thing. I guess maybe I should have also played the Patchwork this turn, but having the Coretapper seems kind of nice. We go Upkeep. Target the Walking Ballista. See if they pop the Lantern or not. They do. Which, again, this is good news for me, since I have an Emrakul in my deck that is no longer going to be exiled by the Lantern. I'm also just surprised the blue. I think all the flares are going to be 3 mana, it seems, but I'm just surprised like how hard castable these cards are. I think blue flare would be best in a combo deck that uses a blue creature stick for combo. Yeah, Archaeologist is the best thing. There isn't like a the next best like blue creature to dig for something is a good bit worse than Archaeologist. So, you know, we'll certainly see how things shape up. So we have a Hangarback Walker and an Arcbound Ravager in the yard. Let me go ahead and start putting, I think, a charge counter on the Chalice this turn. Blue Fire and Espergora. Yeah, it's just like, I guess you could play Satoro also. Alright, we'll take Surge Node. Would be definitely nice to get to the spot where we can just start hard casting our Eldrazi. Opponent's maybe reading Surge Node here. What would you rather blue fairy do if done a counter? I don't have like something specific, but I just thought I just don't think it's very interesting that it is a counter. I think for like card draw, bounce, control magic of some kind, you know, mill effect. Probably not a mill effect, but there's just there are lots of things magic cards could do, and I was kind of hoping it would be something new and exciting instead of, you know, old and a little bit less exciting. So I think what I'll do is Agatha's Soul Cauldron, Coretapper. Yeah, Stifle. I don't. Blue cards can do a lot of things.
Okay, so let's go 2 charge counters on the Lost Jitte. Modular over onto Patchwork. Make a Saga token with the intention of being able to go untap Urza Saga next turn, and then make a, or on their end of turn, make another Saga token. All while still having Emrakul in the deck. This deck is pretty sick. Thought not playable now. Thought not got better today. The thing about the Eldrazi is that they're getting better with this new Eldrazi support, but they're pretty power leveled out of the format. Hard to necessarily feel like turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer is even like that crazy anymore. It'll be good. Like turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer is good, but then you also have to like turn 3 is not very good, it seems. Okay, so I guess I probably should have untapped my Saga before this to play around Field of Ruin. Okay, but they're going for Ensnaring Bridge. How many ballistas am I down? I'm down 1 ballista, 2 ballista, 3. So I have 1 left, thankfully. Could dig for it maybe with Fomori Vault. Have a lot of looks. We'll go remove a charge counter, untap the Saga. Make another Construct. Okay, so go. Wonder if it makes more sense for me to. Maybe it makes more sense for me to put a +1 counter on the construct so I can sack it as a Coretapper for more counters on the Chalice. Probably overthinking it somewhat. All right, let's. I think I'm gonna discard the map. Could play the map for an extra card seeing here, but I think it's kind of okay to just do this. I have access to Ravager already. Let's take it though. So let's go. Let's just grab the Ravager, untap the Fomori Vault, reactivate the Fomori Vault. Find the Walking Ballista. A lot of different ways we could approach this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 artifacts at the moment. Okay, I'm going to start off. I'm going to cast Walking Ballista. Counter on the Patchwork. I'm just trying to think about playing around my opponent's last card being Surgical. Is there any way? It's like, can I kill my opponent this turn? If that's the case, because like what I can do is I can go equip Lost Jitte onto Ballista, and then I can go counter onto Lost Jitte here, sack this 2 counters, so that's gonna be 3, and then I can put a counter here and sack 2, which I guess is kind of the same as just putting a counter here and sacking this, but so let's do 3 from this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 is what I'm counting. I can do damage without playing around Surgical. So let's just not play around them having a Surgical. I don't really feel like they do. They don't. Awesome. So this should be an easier, squeezier win. I think. Oh, right. Sorry, but then I'm not cauldroning. Sorry, I'm not cauldroning my Ravager with this line. Never mind. Okay, sorry. It's good they didn't have it though. 8 cards per print might not be enough. So again, this is the thing about the Ugin's Labyrinth, is that the card doesn't have a downside. It just is a colorless land with 2 upsides. So you don't really need to worry so much about like, oh, what happens if I draw this card and then I can't imprint anything, because in that situation, it's a land that enters untapped and taps for colorless, which is just not going to be that big a deal in your affinity deck. But you could, of course, just play 4 companions for Mirror Enforcer, and then boom, you do actually have Ancient Tomb in, sometimes in your affinity deck. So definitely seems like a good fit there. Piece. I think this is just, no plan. All right, well, this is a plan. Also, one thing to really like, yeah, you go turn 1 Urza Saga, turn 2 this card, activate Urza Saga, and Affinity seems really nice. Windswept Heath for Lush Portico. Love to draw Fomori Vault here. Vault has been so nice. Chalk and Sacred Foundry, so they can go Binding plus pay for Ward. So let's play the Ravager first. We'll see if they just Binding the patchy in response. They bolt it. Same thing. So we'll equip the Jitte, and then we'll have Fomori Vault to start churning through the deck a bit. I don't think Thought Monitor enables the Ugin's Funhouse, right? Because it's only colorless cards. Let me actually, I think it's only colorless cards. We'll double check. They confirm no Brainstorm. Oh no, chat isn't getting their 100 gifted subs. Yeah, Brainstorm would be like such an unhinged thing to print. It's like a lot of people like really unironically ask about the card and the format, and it makes sense for people to ask because they printed it into Timeless, but it's a pretty messed up card. Let's let's just not, I think. Okay, so if they ping, I'll just sack the Jitte. Got some more of those in the deck. Oh. Okay. Kind of a weird time to Solitude, I guess. They sure did a good job playing around Fomori Vault, though. Draw any artifact and start churning through a little bit. So many control opponents today. It's like our third or fourth. They go Omnath into Ring here. That'd be pretty gross. Into Nissa. Okay, let's draw something. No matter what the deck is. Gotta get a couple games out of like this way out of the day, I guess. Did you want to gain the life, or was I surprised you didn't sack Ravage yourself? I should have sacked it to itself. I was just kind of surprised at the line. Find another Solitude. I'll give it like one more drill step. Now, I've not seen many Omnath decks. I have not seen the Red Flare. I've only seen officially spoiled cards, except for one other leak I saw on Twitter, but I don't want to know until it's officially spoiled. Okay, so we can play Cauldron, activate Fomori Vault, but we can only get the top card, which is another Cauldron. Let's go to game 2. Awkward game. We'll flooded. We'll play for game 2. They're also going to have extra Besagers potentially, so the extra mountain. Likely pretty nice. I do think this is a matchup we could bring in the Emrakul. Let's give it a go. I likely want both needles, too. I think I'm just going to trim a Coretapper, a Lost Jitte, and a Chalice. Give this a go. Vault's been really good all day today. I would not that game, but before today. Been liking them a lot. Yeah, so is this article back up, or are they still? Okay, not yet. Underplay. Mulligan. Clicking the key button, just thinking about sequencing here. Think for mana curve considerations, we'll go turn 1 needle. Rin in 6, and then second needle can maybe get the ring. That's usually what you go after. What Safekeeper and Titan? Titan is already just so resilient to removal. I don't know how much it really matters. They don't have the Wrenn and 6 for the follow-up. Take up the Saga. Attack for 1, make a construct. So I'm probably gonna go like Saga token, search up map, then play this Saga. Then the following turn, I can go tap mine, tap tower, find power plant, play power point, and then make another Saga token. Definitely this kind of matchup. Expressively iterating. They binding my expedition map. How do I? Let's see what we draw before we commit to this line I've described. Seems fine. I guess I'm also going to activate the Hangarback Walker instead of attacking with it. And then I can do that main phase because of Lightning Bolt, or I could just not care. I don't know if there's like really any downside. Not holding up Dismember. Not holding up the new Eldrazi multicolor counter. My opponent says, watch this in chat. It's kind of a... Okay, good. I don't know what to say. Open Analyst and Nissa. We've done that. It is pretty cool. Okay. Well, I make a construct. Let's see what we draw. Patchwork. I think it's just got to be map here. Get to a spot eventually where Emrakul is hard castable. Feels like weirdly very relevant part of this game. This is the same guy who said Blue Black's game was BS. Yeah, kind of certified salter, you know. Certified salter. Alright, I yield. Alright, let's finish up this league. Is it worth buying MH3 boxes? I have never bought a booster box. No, I've bought one booster box in my entire life. From a friend of mine who owns a store. Buy singles. Don't buy sealed product. Unless you want to draft. If you want to draft, buy sealed product. If you want to play modern, buy singles usually. It's kind of it. Have I tried to Torn Affinity? I haven't. It could be good. It's just kind of hard to cast. Is kind of why you don't see it yet, I think. The real Karn with Ancient Stirrings on the draw against Karn is, tough place to be. I'm gonna do a video on the image 3 stuff this evening. So got a few options here. Really, again, another fatal case of on the draw syndrome. I'm gonna play the Hangarback Walker so I can start putting counters on it with the Lost Jitte. Go map, sack, but then I can't go Ravager plus equip the Jitte. I'm going to Energy Tournament. It's a week after Modern Horizons. There's no way TCG player could get me those cards in time. Should I buy a box then? Probably not. Like, I don't really feel like you can like reliably ensure that you're gonna get like how are you gonna ensure that you get the cards you need for the box? I don't know. Maybe. So play Crack Map. Yeah, I can't. Still can't do everything I want. Feel any guilt that you didn't consult instead of prevent Urza's Labyrinth? Urza's Labyrinth is like, it's a pretty fucked up card, but like, is it going to ruin Modern? I think the answer is it's just very hard to ruin Modern in general because the format is so powerful and has so many safety valves. It's a Break the Ice, 8 Field of Ruin, Sunken Citadel, the new anti basic land card, Obsidian Charmaw format, and you know I really like playing with Obsidian Charmaw, so we'll see. There's just so many safety valves. It's just hard to feel so scared. Is that a yes or a no? It's I don't feel like the card will ruin Modern, but it is going to be a very good Modern card. I'm shocked that they printed it as is. Is it really that fucked up a card? What decks besides Tron and Cyan are going to play things that pitch to it? Okay, I keep saying this. The new Emrakul, the Madness Emrakul. I'm like a mad prophet here with 4 Eldrazi Temple, 4 of the new card. This shit is going to be a Modern deck. It's going to be a good Modern deck. It's going to be potentially a format defining Modern deck, playing 4 of this card, 4 Eldrazi Temple, built around the new Emrakul. Okay, so let's put a counter on the Hangarback. I don't really know why they're main phasing this, because to deny the mana. Six 1/1s versus Tron is kind of a tough sell. That is a great pickup, though. I've said this a bunch today, and this is going to be a deck. But also kind of simply put too, a land that enters untapped and taps for 2 mana can enable a lot of strategies. Ugin Sanctum is going to be like a Modern defining card. Like, it's just such a powerful thing to be doing. It's like you have like in Modern, you have counterspell decks, you have Tron decks, you have Amulet of Vigor decks, you have it's just like a crazy enabler. I think I just let that go. But will it destroy Modern? It's just kind of hard for a card like this to destroy Modern in the Break the Ice Obsidian Charmaw format, but we'll see. Good. Like I would really feel a lot more comfortable with the card too if it just couldn't tap for a mana without imprinting something. Okay. But I don't know. We'll see. Again, you can never really know how good a card is till you play with it. So we're down a game against Tron. I'm going to cut the Gemstone Caverns for a mountain. We're going to bring in the Karn package. Kabob with the 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm going to go down on Cauldrons, actually. Just kind of like slow. A lot of times I will play 1, but sometimes you can just like waiting for your stuff to die isn't a thing in this matchup. Obviously, you can sack some stuff too, but just not really the game plan we're trying to employ. Probably go down. Well, play two Power Conduits, probably a good number. Maybe actually play 3 Power Conduits, so we can go like Saga and use Power Conduit to play Karn on turn 3. Seems probably pretty reasonable. Just get away from the Hangarbacks too. This card was okay that game, I guess. Yeah, Void Mirrors in the format too. There's a new card. Like there's a ton of safety valves for this card, so maybe it's a good printing. It's just scary. Blue Red Boil with new Emrakul. No basic island. The new accelerator. Eldrazi Temples. Wait, why the Blue Red Boil with the new Emrakul, no basic islands, the new Accelerator land, and 4 temples. Why do you want to play Boil in this deck? Turn 3 Boil, just and then like we feel like there's gonna be a lot of islands in the format, or your Penlink and Shut doesn't work. Well, that's Wizard's fault, huh? I can't fix it, but it'll have new cards there at some point today. MTGA zone. Is this like a clone of the article? Alright. I like this card a lot. I like this card a lot. Choose a non-basic land type. Each land you control of that type becomes a copy of target creature you control to end of turn. Gains haste. Choose a non-basic land type. Is land a non-basic land type? Does it be Urza's? What is a non-basic land type? Why do you like the dog? I don't see it. It is the best creature flickerer in Magic. This is the best way to use a creature to flicker a creature in Magic the Gathering, is what I like about the card. There's not a better way to do it, and it is the best one. I'm interested in making Saga token. Maybe better. I don't know, maybe it's better to have Tron next turn. It's on attack, not ETB. Yeah, it's on attack, not ETB, but it's every time you attack with it, and you get to flash it in end of turn, so it's harder for your opponent to like play around it. It grows every turn, and it also can just like get rid of tokens, like it just can attack and get rid of a token, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, the dog doesn't flicker on ETB, but it has flash, so like it almost does. Twigger's Trison is unblocked with Delny. Yeah, I think so. Like, this card is very good. This is the most powerful. This is like a 2-mana Soul Herder with flash and 2 toughness. It's like Soul Herder with 2 toughness, so it doesn't die to Bowmaster, and it also grows every turn, and it's has flash. This card is crazy. It is legendary, so like we've discovered, that just doesn't really matter almost ever. So the Needle Expedition map here. So get pretty rewarded, I guess. All right, let's make a construct. We rename the card Athena or Lucy. Well, we have... Neither of them are very... I guess maybe it's kind of Lucy-coded, but Lucy is Scrapwork Mutt, and Athena is Young Wolf. So we can Needle the One Ring. It's also really good for this card too. This card can like reset your opponent's One Ring. It can like flicker. I guess I need to deal that. It can reset your opponent's One Ring. It can flicker your opponent's Murktide Regents, reset them to 3/3s. It can also just like bounce a blocker to get through and be big. Okay, so let's Needle Oblivion Stone. Play a Ravager. Think Canner has potential to boost affinity a lot. Yeah, the problem is boosting affinity. Also the new like Soul Land, but the problem is like if you boost affinity, this is they're just gonna like get sideboard carded to death. We'll see. Yeah, I like White of the Reliquary a lot. This card is big slam dunk for me. The set has definitely had several slam dunks in the design. This is not all of them, but I love Null Drifter. I love this card. I love Nightmare. I like Nether Goyf a lot. I like Spawn Gain Commander. I like this card, White of the Reliquary. I think Wintermoon will end up being like pretty nice. Actually, I think I like Urza's Cave. The card is like wow. I think I like Urza's Cave. And these are like commander cards. Does White go into Yawgmoth? Probably not. There's gonna explosives on 0 again. So they're gonna haywire my ballista, or my needle on Oblivion Stone. Yeah, Orm's Chant is in the spoiler, which is cool. I don't think it'll be great. Is Urza's Cave actually good? It'll be super good. I think. I think like this card is potentially just good in Titan, but just I don't know. There's just too many good lands for this card to not be a pretty good tool. It's also like just kind of a card you can play in like a colorless Tron deck too, which is cool. Sunken Citadel discounts the card. I think this card's good. It's balanced. It's not like broken. Okay, I'm gonna call the stream a little early so I can make a YouTube video talking about the MH3.